So I decided to make 10 cards this time. I sped it up really fast. Apologies for the screen being smaller. My camera flipped sideways and I am not sure how to rotate it. Anyways, I will do better next time, I promise. So this is the Boo Crew from Simple Stories, and the copper glitter border on that banner is a Tim Holtz tape from last year from his Halloween collection. He also had a black tape that I believe I use in this video. But here I'm just adjusting on card number 1, and I kind of had a hard time placing. That was one of the thick stickers from the special stickers that I purchased separately, but one also came in the kit. So this Essentials kit it came with everything you need. Here, I decided I didn't have it lined up quite perfectly. I'm very particular about lines. I think it just makes the card look more professional. Anyways, I'm sure you guys can relate. Here I pulled out my little Xyron, and I thought that sentiment would stick better if it was a complete sticker. This is a different Xyron, and I bought all my Xyron machines from Home Shopping, and you can see I have a little red sticker on top of it because if I tear it, it jams, so I have to cut that sticker off. I like the larger Xyron better, and I decided against those and chose stickers. They were just a better size. So I love the little skeleton couple. This has been the funnest group of cards I have ever made. I just love this set. Here I had to use that pumpkin paper. I hadn't used it yet, and I decided I have to make it on something. Since it was so full of color, I thought, well, I'll just kind of have it as the border behind a main picture. And I could see using that as just for the front of a card, have Happy Halloween stamped on a plaque, maybe run a banner behind it. It would be beautiful. But I kind of wanted to make these really special this year and kind of go all out, since I'm not real sure what Halloween's going to look like this year, but it's still happening and it's on a Saturday night, so we got to do it up. Even if we can't do it up with friends, we got to send the sentiment in the mail. So I used the mummy. He was from the ephemera. The tombstones are from the ephemera. I backed him with the star paper, and all of the rectangles you see, I use my stitched rectangle dies from Simon Says Stamp. Here, just cleaning off some extra adhesive. I like to make sure all that adhesive's off. And this Xyron machine was so handy doing these cards. I typically do stamping and fussy cutting and things, and I thought, I have to do so many cards. I want someone else to do all the cutting. I'm hooked. This is probably how I'll be doing cards from here on out and not using stamps as much. Although I have quite a large selection of Tim Holtz stamps, and I do love them, I really enjoy the crisp, clean, printed, already cut out look of these. Add a little bat in the corner, and that card's done. This one, I use let's see, for the hills, I wanted it to look just like there was ground on the bottom of that page. I used the polka dot paper, and the hills are from a Tim Holtz die. You could use you could hand cut them out yourself. This was from actually a Christmas die he had that has a car on the cover. And I'm trying to think if it says Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas on that die. It's the only one he has with kind of like an old vintage car, and I think I show it. Used the banner from the thick chipboard stickers. And after the video, I wound up trimming one of the banners off and gluing it down. It was such a heavy sticker. When I opened the card, it kind of buckled. So I trimmed it down and glued it down with my Tim Holtz glue. So the pumpkins were just, no, everything I believe is raised. There's raised cardstock, chipboard. Then this card I used, it's a Sizzix Bat embossing folder. I bought it. Sizzix has sales periodically, and they'll do up to 70% off. And sometimes you can grab something like that off season. I used it on my Nuvo mirror cardstock. This is the black cardstock. I had a little trouble. I didn't pay attention to how I had this card laid out, and I pre-cut and pre-assembled everything a couple of days in advance, so I would be faster than my previous videos. Then I have sped it up, but I couldn't figure out how to rotate it, but I'll get better. So you'll watch me. Doesn't that look good like that? I couldn't believe how good that looked on its own, but I wanted the little ghost chipboard sticker on there, and surprisingly, that mirror cardstock stickers stick really well to that cardstock. Everything I purchased for this kit, I purchased from scrapbook.com, and the turnaround was pretty fast for them. I had it in less than a week. And here I am getting it situated. I may pull it up again. I remember messing with this one a bit, but I wanted that little ghost girl to be on there. Perfect. Added the spider sticker. Or is he ephemera? He might just be ephemera. Everything in this kit is usable. I have so much left over. If it hadn't have taken me so long, I would have shown everything I had left over. But I just didn't want the recording to be too long. Feel free to fast forward me too. This was the fastest I could get sped up, and I was very particular with these cards because I tend to get really particular with cards when I know exactly who I'm sending them to. Kind of puts the pressure on. Okay, so that bat was ephemera. And I kind of moved stuff off screen. I was having lighting problems, and now we're back. Okay, so now this is a mask die set that I showed from Sizzix, made by Tim Holtz. And the kitty cat did not come with that little eye mask on. I added it. It was from the second smallest die in that set. I haven't used that die yet, and I thought I have got to do that. The kitty cat was so cute. And again, I didn't pay quite as close of attention to the placement I had. So I kind of mess around with the pumpkins and the kitty to get it just right. But once I do, I'm very happy with it. So she's got the polka dot background, a strip of silver cardstock. Well, not silver, glitter silver cardstock, and I put some extra glue on it just because sometimes adhering to glitter can be tricky, and these things are going in the mail and I need them to stay together. And I do mess around with this cat. It's just so cute. I just used my bone folder to make sure I didn't get her too high, and I got out some little raised squares to pop the pumpkins around her. In my planning, it didn't occur to me, these are ephemera. She is a chipboard sticker. I might need to keep them level. So that took a little, but if you guys make this card, just know, plan that in advance. And you could place it so that the pumpkins were behind her, raised up behind her, and she's sitting in the front. But I kind of wanted it like she was hiding back behind the pumpkins, popping out of one, and had on a disguise. I mean, can you just take how cute this kit is? Now, I'm going to ask people, because I know at this point I mess around with these pumpkins quite a bit. I bought 2 other kits. I bought the Echo Park kit, and which I love Halloween. And then I purchased the Cartabella Halloween Market Kit. And I would say I bought the 2 paper packs and 2 ephemeras. It's not the essential kit like I did for this one. And this kit also came with stamps. But like I said, I kind of felt like I need to make a ton. I don't want to do stamping. But the kit's so cute, I may think about getting the stamp set just to have it because I love that little ghost girl. Anyways, I'm going to have so many cards left over. I need any advice you guys can give as to what to do with the cards. I was wondering, look at the little mask I'm putting on. And I used glue for that because I wanted her to stay on. And that chipboard is kind of slick because it's such a good quality. And here I am just looking for a sentiment. I was looking for Hello Pumpkin, and that's what I chose. And just stuck it right on. And it lined up perfectly. So anyways, I was thinking about what am I going to do with all the cards. These cards I know have a home. But the next 2 kits, I'm just going to have extra cards. So I was wondering if people would want to receive cards. Like, would you want me to mail you a couple of cards? Maybe do a contest or a drawing, or if I only get 5 responses, split them up evenly and mail them to people. So you guys just let me know in the comments, because charities don't typically take Halloween cards. This one is the chipboard sticker of the witch, and my idea was when I was cutting out squares or rectangles with my stitch die, it leaves such a beautiful outer rim that it looked like a picture frame. And I thought, I could do something with this. Let me make a picture and put one of the characters in it. And who looked better than the witch? And she fit perfectly. And I put her on black cardstock. And I can't remember if I embossed that cardstock. I do not think I did. I can't remember. But I used the plaid for the inner frame and then the spiderweb for the outer frame, all in this card set. And then stuck her down. And the sticker I choose for her to complete her was Toil and Trouble. And then on the inside, I'll stamp Halloween. So I put some stars around her and I dropped a spider down behind her. He was ephemera. I had to trim him off. And before I stuck that frame down, I had to stick him down. And I apologize if you hear any background noise. I hear people driving around outside the house, being noisy. So just trying to make sure everything's clean and tidied up. Here I picked Toil and Trouble. And the card's almost done. The cards were so easy to pick out. It was so easy to work with this set. I really enjoyed not having to work from scratch. And if you see on some of the cards, there's like a little piece of white paper. Sometimes I just wrote a little note to remind myself what sticker I thought would look best, because I knew I was going to try to be as fast as possible while I was recording, and I knew I was not very good at editing. And again, I'm sorry that the picture is small and kind of sideways, but the cards turned out so good. I really wanted people to be able to see how much fun they could have with them. And feel free to make exactly what I made, or maybe this will just inspire you on another kit. Whatever. I know I lots of times just like to watch the videos to get inspiration, pick up tips. I had a very hard time lining up these 2 banner dies, and I think it was because on the black banner I put Tim Holtz tape from that same Halloween washi tape set. Yeah, washi. I'm not sure if he calls it washi tape or tissue tape. I think he calls it tissue tape. Again, glitter, so I use my Tim Holtz glue, because once you stick that, you have time to move it for about 5 minutes. but once it's down and you leave it alone, it's staying for good. But the reason I think I had a hard time leveling this banner out was because I don't think I got my tape on perfectly straight. So, but once you put the kitty cat flying across and the stars, and you don't notice it at all. And I found that the busy print on the paper really distracts your eye from any imperfections, which I love that. So this was a blast. I hope to have as much success with my other two kits, but this was my favorite kit. And that was my adhesive eraser. Again, all of these things you can get from scrapbook.com. You can probably even get any of the dies I used. I know that when I bought my Sizzix machine, because I have a Sizzix Big Shot, I bought that die, those banners, the circles. I have scalloped edge circles. When I bought the Big Shot, I bought the kit that allowed you to pick a certain amount of dies to go with it. And since I had nothing, so I bought this, 4 or 5 years ago, then I had something to start with. Put her little sticker on. I think hers says Happy Haunting. And then that Sizzix set, that I bought so inexpensively. It seems like it's by Rachel Bright, and it's a Halloween set. And those ghosts are what came, those tiny ghosts. But I had to use that. And this is a slimline card. And then I used my rectangular dies to put pieces behind, my stitch rectangles behind the house. And then I brought a piece through. The black mirror cardstock is the Nuvo black mirror cardstock, and I ran that through the embossing folder through the Big Shot, and that is the most sturdy paper. It adheres wonderfully. Stickers stick to it fantastically, and there's no way it would ever tear. I have a few other colors. I'm going to really start working that into my card designs because it's so sturdy, and I love a sturdy card. Again, my Distress Glue by Tim Holtz, just to hold stuff down on top of that glitter cardstock. And I prefer glitter cardstock that's paper on the back as opposed to plastic. I just find that it cuts much cleaner and crisper with less runs through my machine. Like I can run that silver glitter cardstock, which I bought off Amazon. I can run that through my machine one time, cuts perfect, everything's easy. That copper cardstock, that's die cuts with a view. It's plastic, and although gorgeous, I have to run it like 4 times through my machine to get a crisp cut. So it's an older paper pack. I'm sure that they have fixed that. I think I bought that 3 Halloweens ago. But it's gorgeous, so I run it through. And it goes perfectly with the colors. The colors just are perfect. And I had done all orange and black, and I thought, let me do an all gray and black one and use this house and use these bats and moon design paper, and it turned out great. Because I did a slimline, I had to figure out how to kind of ground the bottom of it, and I wind up using some Tim Holtz dies from Sizzix, and it's a graveyard die set. I really wanted that to stick down, so I used glue. And here I'm just trying to figure out where to put those cutie ghosts. And that Rachel Bright stamp and die set from Sizzix, I have used and used and used. It always comes out at Halloween. Because they're so tiny, you can really get the sentiments and the spider and the spider webs and the trick-or-treat. They can fit in the tiniest spots, and sometimes that's what you have. After this video, I thought that this needed a sentiment on the front, so from the sticker sheet, I picked a small sticker that said fabulous and put it going right towards the house, kind of under the glittery border. It looks really good. And the way I figured out stickers stick so well to this Nuvo cardstock is because of how well that moon sticker went down. It's not going to budge. So here, this took some effort figuring out how to line it up, exactly where to go, but this turned out to be one of my favorites because it was so unusual. The stars are from a Tim Holtz set that he released last year from Sizzix, and it has like a crystal ball and some other unusual things in that set. And this might be one of my favorites too. I took the piece of scrapbook paper that had all the squares, and I thought it would be nice to have kind of a muted background, so I chose the boo and the eyes and the bats, and I can't remember what the other one says. I can't see it on my screen right now. And did kind of a muted background, then popped the cat up on top. And I used a stitched square die that I have and cut out all the little pictures to refine the edges. First I cut it out with my paper cutter, then I refined it with a little stitched square, and then I just eyeballed, added 1/8 of an inch, I believe, on all around, so a total of 1/4 of an inch to the square. It was a 2x2 square, and then I think I changed it to a 2 1/4 square. You could tell I do more eyeballing than measuring, but this one I did have to measure. And this square card, I just made this by hand, and it will fit. I like to send square cards with my daughter's picture at Christmas. And so those are the envelopes I'm using for that. It's that design. So it'll take a little extra postage. But this wound up being my husband's favorite card. I think he liked how clean and precise it was. So the other square says Hocus Pocus. And I didn't think it was lined up too well, but again, with the designs and the cat sitting on top and the mirrored cardstock, you can't tell that these cards are not perfectly lined up. I just wanted it to sit level, so I popped some squares underneath, and to make sure she's secured, I added glue to her. I mean, really, the cat, the little ghost costume, the mummy, the witch. Now here I had some extra pieces, so I took that journal card piece and I cut these two designs out, and I just wanted to show that you can easy stick these onto just scraps that were laying on the table from where I was making my A2 cards. And I made it by 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. This was the excess that fell off the paper trimmer. I put the journal cards on top and thought, well, these would make cute cards, but I don't have an envelope. So if I'm doing a boo basket, how about I turn these little cards into tags that flip open? So that was all I did with these. You could do these in a hot minute, throw it on a boo basket, run it down to the neighbor's house, and run back home. And it wouldn't take more than 15 minutes, I don't think, to cut it, stick it, and hole punch it. I used Tim Holtz twine to tie the tie on, in case you need to tie it to a basket. And I have so much stuff left over. I could continue making stuff. Continue making cards. That's my crocodile I used to do the hole punch. And then once I get this done, I noticed I didn't use a single one of those fabulous tags when I was assembling cards. And so I got out a tag and I used just a regular hole punch from Target because the hole was a little bigger, the white part. I punched it out and then kind of colored it in with a light gray marker and tied a ribbon through it. And I didn't even need to use the marker to fix where the white was left over because the ribbon covered up. You don't even need to bother with that. And that was just spare ribbon that was over on the side of my craft desk from another tag. Just looped it through, tied it off, voila, there's your easy tag for a boo basket or a treat bag or whatever. And then I had one more card that I bring in that I didn't get done on video. And I believe it said it's a lot of hocus pocus. So here I'm just going back over all the cards for you to see. This one. And it's so easy. 3 stitch square dies on a black background, adhered to a craft card, and voila, it was done. These are from the previous video. I think I came up with like 15. Thanks for watching.